What's up, guys? Hello. Today I'm only going to be doing one video. Hopefully tomorrow I might do two. Don't know yet. See how it goes. Um, Sorry if I look a bit of a mess, or maybe I just look like I usually do. I went down to the job centre today, etc. I'm not going to bother talking about it. So today's top 10, it's actually a top 10, is going to be the top 10 most overrated and underrated games. Now, I'm not going to be doing a top 10 of both, I'm just going to be doing the top 5 from each one. Please bear in mind, this is my opinion, etc. Obviously, there are some games I might not know about, or maybe I don't agree with they're overrated or underrated. Just because I say they're overrated doesn't mean I think they're a bad game. I just think they're overrated for what they are. So the first one I'm going to be talking about is, and this is going to be, I'm going to be doing the top 5 overrated and the top 5 underrated. So at number 5, the Legend of Zelda game. Everyone's going to be thinking, how is Legend of Zelda overrated? It's earned its spot as being highly rated. Yes, that is true. Yes, I love Zelda games. I'm a fanboy for The Legend of Zelda, but I still think they are overrated. Mainly because of how linear they are, or how simple the games are, and you can't dispute that. It's a fact. The Zelda games are very linear and simple. They're for children. But that's not necessarily a bad thing, and I don't think they're bad qualities. I think that just the little things make Zelda overrated for what they actually are. So yeah, number 5, the Legend of Zelda series. Number 4, I don't even know if I should be talking about this one because I've only ever played one of the games in the whole series. So maybe I really don't have a right to judge. But the Splinter Cell, Tom Clancy's Splinter Cell series. Now, hold on a minute. You're probably thinking Splinter Cell isn't overrated. In fact, if anything, it's probably underrated. You're right and you're wrong. Yes, Splinter Cell is underrated, but compared to all the other Tom Clancy games, it's overrated. Personally, I prefer Vegas. I love Rainbow Six Vegas, and I think it's so much better than Splinter Cell. But then Splinter Cell, for some reason, gets so much more love because it's a stealth game. They've already got Metal Gear Solid for that. I'm so sorry if you love Splinter Cell. I think Metal Gear Solid does a stealth game even better than Splinter Cell. Splinter Cell's all about stealth. So, Splinter Cell series, overrated compared to the rest of the Tom Clancy games. At number 3, this one's a given. In fact, I don't know why I didn't put this at number 1, but sport games. Any type of sport game, except for non-proper realistic sport games. So I'm talking about FIFA, NBA, WWE, golf games, any of them, highly overrated. FIFA, what is special about FIFA? There's nothing special about FIFA. Yet for some reason it seems to be on the top. It seems to be on the top of every shop's charts. Why do so many people love football? And even more, why do so many people love playing non-real football, where you simply press a button and you get a random player to kick a fucking ball into a net? Doesn't make sense. Overrated. So there you go. Sport games, overrated. Number 2, Mario games. Once again, I've only played a few Mario games. I'm not a massive Mario fan because they're childish. And I haven't got anything against kid games, but Mario is so kiddie based. Maybe they should make a Mario game that isn't so kiddified, but then Mario is it's just a kids thing. I still play them, but once again they're simple, like Zelda, very linear, like Zelda. It's a platformer. For a lot of the Mario games, they're all platformers. The main Mario series is a platformer. I haven't got anything against platformers. I just think they're too simple. Get from left to right on the screen or from right to left on the screen as fast as you can without getting hit, etc., etc., etc. So the main Mario series overrated. I love Mario Kart, I love Mario Party, I love Super Smash Brothers that I'm gonna put into that category. They're not overrated. Mario series in general though is overrated. Number one, this is the reason that the sports games didn't get a number one. Shooters. Any shooter. I play shooters. I play all the shooters. I still think they're too overrated. I'm not picking on one or the other. If you ask me, Call of Duty, the most overrated game of all time. Halo, just as bad, pretty overrated. I've played all of them. I love Halo, but I'm sorry, it's overrated, especially now. Number three, Battlefield. Again, Battlefield's probably the least overrated of the three. Still, it's overrated for what it is. It's just a shooter. A few others to mention: Medal of Honor. Again, I haven't played one of those in years. The last one I played was Medal of Honor Rising Sun on the Xbox One, or the original Xbox. So maybe that's just died off. Medal of Honor's died off, so I can't really include it because it's not rated at all now. So the number one most overrated game is any shooter like Battlefield, Halo, Call of Duty. I'll go through the list after I've done the most underrated games. So next I'm going to do the top 5 underrated games. This is a lot more interesting because it's all down to, it's even more personalised than overrated games because it's what you think is underrated, and it might not even be underrated, but you just think that it doesn't get the recognition it deserves. So number 5, this is a bit of a random one, and I don't think many of you, if any of you, are going to have heard of this series, and it's called Unimusha. Unimusha, one of the two. Basically, you play as these Oni people, or they're descendants of Oni warriors. One of the guys has got a gauntlet on his hand. One of the guys, actually, his hand is the thing, he uses it to absorb demon souls. I've mentioned this game series in my top 5 or top 10 currencies, because the souls are the currencies of the game. But Unimusha is such an amazing game. It's Japanese, but it's English dub. It's about samurai fighting demons that are taking over Japan, sort of thing. It's really fun. I really like the series. I've played 1, 2, and 3, and I've played the kind of Super Smash Brothers inspired version. Unimusha Blade Warriors. I haven't played the 4th one. I didn't even know they made a 4th one. I'm probably going to try and pick that up at some point, play through that, and then I would have played through all of them except for the one on the Game Boy, Unimusha Tactics, but who cares about that? A lot of you probably, I'm so sorry, but I'm just not interested in tactic games really. Plus it's on the Game Boy, don't own a Game Boy. So, number 5, Unimusha series. Number 4, this is very personal to me because this is probably one of my favourite game series of all time. I think they're highly underrated. The Dynasty / Samurai / Warriors Orochi series. I love these games. I grew up with these games. I think I played, the first one I played was Dynasty Warriors 3. I think I must have started playing that when I was about 10. So at least 8 years ago, I started playing this series, and I immediately fell in love with it. Hell, after 3, I played 4. Very good improvement. I keep changing my mind between whether I prefer 3 or 4. Then I played 5. We're not going to talk about 6 because that was just, I'm not even going to bother talking about it. Then I went back and bought Dynasty Warriors 2 on the PlayStation 2. It's very old, very dated, but still interesting. Went back and somehow found Dynasty Warriors 1, just one, Dynasty Warriors, on the PlayStation 1, and it's a beat 'em up, which is quite interesting. Then went on to buy Dynasty Warriors 7, Dynasty Warriors 8. Obviously, there are kind of add-on games like the Extreme Legends and Empires. Samurai Warriors series again, played 1. Samurai Warriors Extreme Legends, I love that. Samurai Warriors 2, I've actually got 2 versions of Samurai Warriors 2, which is quite interesting. Warriors Orochi again, I've got Warriors Orochi 1. I played 2 first, but then I went and got back and got 1. Got 3, unfortunately 3 isn't dubbed. I found that very disappointing. Once again, still a good series, and it's a crossover, so there's just like 100 characters in it. Love the series, but for some reason, not many people are fans of it. I know maybe I know about 2 or 3 people that like the Dynasty Warriors Samurai Warriors Orochi series. That's it, out of everyone I know. I don't know why. It's just maybe people just aren't interested in hack and slashes. That's probably the reason, or maybe they just haven't heard of it and they're not willing to try it. But Dynasty Warriors, Samurai Warriors, Warriors Orochi is definitely an underrated series. Number 3, well, Dynasty Warriors 4. Dynasty Warriors is number 4. So number 3, Jak and Daxter and Ratchet and Clank. Now, okay, yes, Jak and Daxter and Ratchet and Clank are very, very, very popular PlayStation titles because they are exclusive to the PlayStation. And that's the exact reason I think it's so underrated. I played all of them. I played Jak and Daxter 1, I played Jak and Daxter 2, I played Jak and Daxter 3. Although Jak and Daxter X, that's a driving game. I hate driving games, but I still played it. Then I played Ratchet and Clank 1, Ratchet and Clank 2, Ratchet and Clank 3, Ratchet and Clank Gladiator. I love them. I haven't played the ones after that because I don't own a PlayStation 3. Love them. Still own all of them. Still own all the Jak and Daxter and Ratchet and Clank. But something just tells me that they've always been underrated, and maybe that's why no one really hears about them these days. I mean, they get a cameo appearance in like all PlayStation Battle Royale and stuff like that, but they don't seem to be getting main games very often, and I certainly don't hear about them. So that's why I think Ratchet and Clank, Jak and Daxter, underrated series, especially since they're so fun to play. Number 2, this is a given. For those of you who have watched some of my other videos, I mentioned the series and main character from it. So number 2 on my list is the Yu-Gi-Oh games. Hear me out. Some of you are going to be like, "Oh, Yu-Gi-Oh, it's shit. It's shit. How can you like those games?" I love Yu-Gi-Oh. I own nearly all the consoles. No, I own all the good consoles. I own all but one of the first generation Yu-Gi-Oh games for the main consoles. That's Yu-Gi-Oh! Forbidden Memories on the PlayStation 1, Yu-Gi-Oh! Duelist of the Roses, PlayStation 2, Yu-Gi-Oh! Capsule Monsters Colosseum, PlayStation 2, Yu-Gi-Oh! Forthbound Kingdom, GameCube. The only one I don't own is Yu-Gi-Oh! Dawn of the Destiny on the Xbox. But I love the games to death. And I think the reason that I think they're underrated is because Pokemon kind of outshone them, even though they shouldn't have. I definitely think Yu-Gi-Oh! Was always a contender for Pokemon, but I feel that Yu-Gi-Oh! Came in a bit too late to kind of give it a fair fight. Honestly, this is going to sound so stupid, and maybe I'm lying, but I prefer the Yu-Gi-Oh! Games to Pokemon games. Yes, I might be mental in the head, but that's what I feel. So, Yu-Gi-Oh! Games, underrated because of Pokemon. And as an honourable mention, I also think Digimon. Digimon, I only ever played one of their games. I didn't really, actually, I was into Digimon when I was really young, but that got outshone by Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh! Digimon just never had a fighting chance. I think Digimon are made by the Pokemon people, so maybe that was just a second cash-in that really didn't work. But, as I said, main point is, number 2 was Yu-Gi-Oh! Games. Any Yu-Gi-Oh! game. Even the ones I haven't played, I'm sure they're great, but they probably don't get very good ratings. So, on to the final one. My number 1 most underrated game series of all time is the Phantasy Star series. Now, some of you are going to be like, Fantasy Star definitely isn't underrated because I love it. Now, yes, you love it, and I've only played one of the games, but I love it. But I feel that it's underrated still. I mean, the Fantasy Star universe servers shut down last year in September. Very unfortunate. And here's my reasoning why I think they did. Popularity. I don't think many people were playing anymore. People didn't want to pay £8 a month for the Guardian license to play online. The story's good, not great. You only play through it to just know the story or get the achievements. The online was where it was at. I think people stopped paying for it. People stopped playing the game. It lost popularity. Some people stopped playing because their friends stopped playing. Knock on effect. People just stopped playing it. They looked at their figures. They noticed the popularity was going down. Nothing was going to revive it. They made the expansion pack free. The only thing they could have done was make the Guardian license free or lowered the price. They probably would have stopped making money, or they would have not been making as much money as they needed. So I think they just shut the servers down. Very sad. If it had been more popular, maybe it would have kept up. Another thing is with Fantasy Star Online 2, number 2, I'm hoping that we get it here in England or in Europe. No release date, no information in over a year. I don't think we're ever going to get it. Do you want to know why? Popularity. Underrated. People didn't rate it in this country. Don't know why. People just didn't rate it. That's why I think that we're not getting it. So basically, we're losing out on a perfectly good game just because people didn't want to rate it. How sad is that? Such an amazing MMO RPG. We're losing out on it because people didn't rate it very well. How sad is that? All the fan base, the very small fan base that is, are missing out on it. I'm missing out on it. I'd love to play it. I'd probably start playing that and forget about all the other games, but I can't play it because it's not been rated. And they don't want to risk putting it here and not getting a popular response. So there we go. My number one most underrated game series is Fantasy Star Online. People, Fantasy Star game series, period. Start rating it, people. Keep complaining to Sega. Maybe we'll get it here. I don't care if Sega can go away, make Fantasy Star Universe 2. I don't care. Go do that. In fact, if we're not going to get online 2, make us a Universe 2 so we can actually play some Fantasy Star online. You know, the series, you made such an amazing series. It's so good, but you neglect us here. I don't know why you neglect us. Sega are very good at neglecting their fan base in other countries. They just don't release the games to us. It's very sad. So, I'm going to go through my list again. At number 5 for the most overrated game series, Legend of Zelda. Already explained it. Number 4, Splinter Cell series. Again, already explained that it's overrated compared to the others. Number 3, sport games, FIFA, rugby, cricket, golf, wrestling, all of them overrated, no fun. Number 2, the Mario games, the main series Mario, Mario Party, Mario Kart, Super Smash Brothers, all fine, not overrated. And number 1, the shooters, again, Battlefield, Call of Duty, Halo, all overrated. Medal of Honor would be on the list, but Medal of Honor's dead, so I can't say that's overrated. So we're going to go through the underrated games again. Number 5, Unimusha, already explained it, not many people know about it. Number 4, Dynasty Warriors series, again, not many people know about it, all play it. Number 3, Jack and Daxter, Ratchet and Clank, again, already explained it. It's very popular, but for some reason it's not received very well by people, and that's why I think that it's not heard of these days. Number 2, Yu-Gi-Oh games, already said it. I think the Yu-Gi-Oh games are perfect, but they've been overshadowed by Pokemon. Number 1, Fantasy Star. Again, already said it. Not many people have heard of it. Sega aren't releasing their games over here, so we're not going to be rating them because we're not even getting them. So they just stopped doing it here. Fantasy Star Universe shut down because of the popularity issue. So those were my top 5 overrated and underrated games, or top 10 for today. Hopefully I will be doing a video tomorrow. I don't know. I'll see how I feel. I've got some Yu-Gi-Oh games to play. So, as usual, people, please don't forget to subscribe because it'll be here. Like the video, comment on the video saying it sucked or whatever. Tell all your friends if you've got any friends. If you haven't, welcome to the club. And I will see you on the next video.